All right, for our last day of Colt's Corner, we're going to practice using fractions again today. Think back to all of the things you learned yesterday about equivalency and equal parts of the whole and how to find equal parts of the whole. For today, we're going to be adding like fractions and subtracting like fractions. So for this task, you're going to need the task cards for this activity, the adding like fractions and subtracting like fractions. You're going to need your fraction kit. You'll want a dry eraser and use a task mat to make your recordings, and then something to erase with. You can use an eraser or an old sock or a paper towel or just something that would be helpful in clearing your board so that you can do several tasks today. So starting with the adding like fractions task card, you're going to use a fraction kit to solve some problems, and they have those problems on the task card for you. We're going to start with task A. So Caroline, we want to add 2/4 plus 1/4. Okay, so when we join those together, okay, what do you notice about the pieces?
They're all the same size.
They're all the same size. So when we join them together, the size of the piece is not going to change. What is going to change?
The amount.
The number of pieces that you have. That's right. So if I go ahead and I add those together, let's draw a model of what that's going to look like. So, okay, so she's writing down, here's our number sentence, okay? 2/4 plus 1/4. Now let's draw a model of what that could look like. So it would just be basically drawing the picture. We want to label each of those parts because they're equal. Good.
Do I add it on here?
Uh-huh. And then you're going to add that 3rd, 4th. So when we add those together, so we're going to take that picture and we're going to turn it into symbols. What is the sum of 2/4 plus 1/4?
3/4.
Right. So what do you notice about the numerator and the denominator when you add fractions with like denominators?
The denominator stays the same, but the numerator changes because you're adding or subtracting.
Okay, you're putting parts of the whole together or you're subtracting or taking away. All right, so we drew the model. Then we recorded the equation. And then we talked about the reasons why the relationship between the numerators and the denominators and when we add or put all of the parts of the whole together. All right, so you'll have several other expressions on your task card that you can turn into equations and draw models for, and I want you to practice using your fraction kits to complete those. And then write a rule for adding fractions with like denominators in your own words. So you could write down a rule, something like, when adding equal parts of a whole together, the parts of the whole will change, but the size of the parts stays the same. Might be one way to express that. If you come up with another great rule to share, then please email it to me or post that to our Colt's Corner story. All right. So that's adding fractions. That's that task. So next up, we've got the subtracting like fractions task. So again, we're going to use those fraction kit pieces, and we're going to be drawing models again. And we're going to be recording equations. So this time, Caroline, we're going to start out with 3/4. And then we're going to take away 1. No, take one away. So you'll start with 3/4 and take one away.
Okay.
Okay. So let's record what that equation looks like. If I start with 3/4 and I take one away, then I'm going to be left with, all right, so let's draw a model that demonstrates what happens with that model. Start with 3.
Yeah.
And then take one away. You can exit out or, yeah. If we take one away, then we are left with 2/4. Good. Okay. And what do you notice about the numerator and denominator when you subtract fractions with like denominators?
The denominator stays the same, but the numerators change.
So the number of pieces is going to change, but the size of those pieces is not. So when adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators, the rule is going to stay the same. Good luck, have fun practicing, and brushing up on those fraction number skills.